Have you ever wondered why the Vietnam War lasted so long? For many Americans, it felt like a never-ending conflict, stretching across multiple presidencies and costing countless lives. The common narrative often points to the complexities of guerrilla warfare or the challenges of fighting in a foreign land. But what if a major reason for the war's length was the United States' own strategy? Let's rewind a bit. Before the US was heavily involved, Vietnam was a French colony. After World War II, a powerful wave of anti-colonialism swept the globe, and Vietnam was no exception. Ho Chi Minh, a Vietnamese nationalist leader, declared independence in 1945. He was inspired by, of all things, the American Declaration of Independence. But instead of supporting this new nation's bid for freedom, the United States, driven by Cold War fears of communism spreading, chose to back the French colonialists. This was the first critical misstep. The US fundamentally misunderstood the situation. For the Vietnamese, this wasn't just about communism versus capitalism. It was a decades-long struggle for national liberation. They had fought the Japanese, the French, and now they were facing the Americans. Their resolve was fueled by a deep-seated desire for independence, something the US, with its own revolutionary history, should have understood. As the French faltered, America stepped in, escalating its involvement bit by bit. It started with advisors, then military aid, and eventually, hundreds of thousands of combat troops. This policy of escalation was based on the domino theory, the idea that if Vietnam fell to communism, all of Southeast Asia would follow. Each step deeper into the war was justified as necessary to prevent this from happening. However, this military escalation completely ignored the political reality on the ground. The more the US bombed, the more troops it sent, the more it strengthened the Vietnamese people's will to resist. The American-backed government in South Vietnam was seen by many of its own people as a corrupt, foreign-propped regime. In contrast, the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong were viewed as patriots, fighting for a unified, independent Vietnam. So, every B-52 raid, every search-and-destroy mission, while intended to weaken the enemy, often had the opposite effect. It created more recruits for the other side and solidified their popular support. The US was trying to win a military victory in a conflict that was fundamentally political and nationalistic. It was a war against the idea of Vietnamese independence and du Coia, and defeat an idea with bombs. In the end, the very actions the US took to win the war are what made it unwinnable and dragged it out for so many painful years. It was a tragic failure to see the war through the eyes of the Vietnamese people themselves. Understanding this perspective is crucial to learning from the past. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, be sure to like and subscribe for more historical deep dives. See you next time.